What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build studio in New York City. Now, despite what the temperature outside may lead you to believe, it's springtime, people. And it's bittersweet for me because that means, yes, of course, the days are longer and the flowers are in bloom, but also seasonal allergies. And apparently, I'm not alone in the eternal struggle here because our next guest is here to fill us in on how she balances this seasonal inconvenience with all of the projects and fun stuff she's got going on. Now, you've seen her on TV and, of course, Secrets and Lies, American Crime Story, most recently in Lethal Weapon, and naturally, you've seen her on the big screen as Mia Toretto in the Fast and Furious movies, one of the highest grossing film franchises of all time. Here to talk to us about her partnership with Zyrtec and all the iron she's got in the fire, please welcome the always awesome Jordana Brewster. Make some noise, everybody. Come on.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
Oh, it is so wonderful to have you back. How have you been? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm cold.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly, for sure. Yeah. Well, it's so nice to have you back on Build.
Thank you.
And it is an absolute treat. I'm very excited to talk to you. How many years now? This is fantastic with Zyrtec. You guys have been partners, friends for a while. How long?
Third year, which is really nice. Yes, and I especially love Allergy Face, which is such a it's like a concept that all women can relate to, which Zyrtec came up with, which is kind of genius.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into Allergy Face because when I was reading about it, I noticed the little trademark right there. I was like, oh, this is like an official term we've got.
Official thing, yes.
Yeah, this is like a real thing. I promised last time you were here, we're not doing this on purpose, but you were surrounded by flowers. This isn't, you know what this is actually for, though. This is not for the allergies, though. This is Macy's, their springtime
cool.
thing. I don't know if you've ever seen this. They do a flower show
I should take
every
my
year.
kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a fun thing for the kids. There's one in like New York, I think San Francisco, and I want to say Chicago is the other place.
Oh, nice.
Honestly, they've been doing it for like 80 years. I found out about it like 2-3 years ago. It's incredible. You gotta check it out.
I will, totally.
Yeah. So I apologize that you're
No, it's all good. They're not flaring up right now because I took my Zyrtec, so I am good.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, she's gonna think we're trying to like
cause a flare up.
Yeah,
like test me. Yeah.
All right. So what's funny is so the flowers, the flare up, the seasonal allergies as well. I want to talk about your allergy story for a little bit and why Zyrtec was like a good partner for you to pair up with. So take us back to the beginning.
You know what's funny is the last couple of days, so many people are like, when did they start your allergies? Because a lot of people, they start in like your 20s or your 30s. And for me, they started my late 20s, especially when I moved to Dallas and started shooting the show Dallas. It was like all of a sudden like sneezing and itchy, watery eyes. And Zyrtec was a great partnership because it's the only thing that worked for me. And so if I could take it consistently, it's the only thing that stops my symptoms. And in LA, we don't really have seasons. So
there's no weather.
There's no weather. No, it's kind of the same every day.
Really?
Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah, we can't complain. But you know, the only bad thing is that my allergies are always flaring up. So I just have to take it consistently. But then Allergy Face was something that I just didn't know what to attribute like my puffy eyes to or my red nose or the fact that like I would do the school run and then like my mascara would be down here and Jamie Greenberg, this genius makeup artist, was like, that's Allergy Face, girl. And like here's some tips that will help you. So that's how that
Is Jamie on the paperwork for that trademark? Is he getting some of the...
She better be. I hope so.
We'll investigate after.
Yes.
So that's pretty funny. When you think about it, yeah, a lot of people, like I'll get allergy flare-ups like walking into work, and typically I won't have to, maybe I'm not doing an interview that day, maybe I am, but even still I've got a nice buffer where it doesn't really matter. But when you're in the business you're in, your face is very much an important part of your job.
Your face, but it also affects like your voice and how you sound, or like, for me, it'll be kind of mortifying because it's like a sneeze attack will start, you know, as the cameras are rolling. Or like what gives me the most anxiety is you'll be shooting a scene and like the camera will be, on this case, rigs for like a monologue or something. And I'm like, oh God, oh no. There's like 20 more lines coming up and I have to be quiet and so like to try to suppress that, like that happens all the time, like the tickle in my throat or the sneezing. So I can't really afford to have my
Have you ever not been able to suppress it and then try to sell it as a choice as an actor in that moment? Well, in this scene, my character is trying to sneeze a lot. That's just all this is.
I will do that next time.
Yeah?
Yes. Because otherwise I just end up sounding like a weird animal, like they just hear that and they're like, what's, okay.
That's how the doctor reacts to a statement in his speech. That's just how I'm feeling right now as
a
his
choice.
character. That was
Totally.
a choice. Yeah. So that's funny. When you were on Dallas and it was first starting out, Was it something that you were having an intense anxiety about in that moment because it had never happened before? Did you right away? What were some of the things that you started in the beginning when you were trying to?
No, it was just like when I woke up, everything was just different. Like
Yeah.
I even had like these little just flare-ups around my eyes and my it's not sexy at all, but like if you let the runny nose go on for long enough, you end up getting postnasal drip, and that's why I'd rather. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
All right, let's step away from your professional world. Because I was doing some research, aka Instagram stalking.
I know.
And it,
I love Instagram.
yeah,
so
I know.
much.
It's fantastic. Well, it's made my job a lot easier with a
So
lot
addictive.
of. Yeah, because I was going through, and you're certainly like you're living your best life. You're out there, you're doing stuff outside. You're out there with the kids. You're having a fun time. Has the Zyrtec partnership, using Zyrtec, has that enabled you to do stuff maybe in the world of fitness stuff with your
Yeah,
kids?
especially in the spring, because my kid, especially Rowan, my youngest, he's 2, and he just hates being inside. So as soon as it's pretty outside, which it is always in LA, as we've established, he wants to go to like the farmer's market, and my son loves, riding horses, so he wants to be out like in the barn with all horses, and out in Malibu, and we go like not horseback riding, we go hiking. So I have to be ready to be out there all the time, which obviously flares it up a bit more. So, but as long as I'm taking it consistently, I'm good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Also, while I was doing my research, I was going through and I noticed there were like a lot of tweets about A Quiet Place and a lot of posts. And I was like trying to figure it out. I'm like, is she in it? No, she's not in it. Okay, she must really like this movie.
Just really love Emily Blunt.
Yeah, and then I put it all together. Your husband was a producer on the film.
Yes, and I think he's going to be here on Monday. Yeah, he's super excited.
Yeah, you got to give him a bunch of tips.
I will.
We should do
I'm
something.
going to scare him.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I should do that.
We should do something. Like we should put like, I don't know, like something under the chair. I don't know. I want to do something. And does he know you're here today?
He does.
Damn it.
Yeah.
We could have used that.
No, we can still mess with him in some way.
Okay, we've got to establish a way to do that.
Yeah.
So he was producer on the film. Have you seen the film yet? I'm sure he's made you watch it.
I have. I went to South by Southwest.
Right, South
it
by,
premiered there.
Yeah.
And I'm missing the premiere on Monday because I have to work on Lethal on Tuesday. But no, it's so good.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. You're not the only one saying that. The buzz is out of control right now. People are going nuts for this film.
Yeah, it's really scary and creepy, but in all the right ways.
Is that something you're traditionally into? I know you were in a pretty scary and creepy movie not too long ago. But this is something that either you love these movies or some people they can't watch them. Like, where do you fall on that spectrum when it comes to like a really?
I don't like gore. Like I was in Texas Chainsaw, and that was a lot of gore. That was.
That's like the pinnacle.
Too
of
much.
gore.
I know that was too much. But like my parents made the mistake of allowing me to watch Twin Peaks when I was like 10.
Made the mistake or the excellent call?
I mean, like, and then I had nightmares because, like, it was just like when it messes with you psychologically, I think is when it's the most scary.
Was your aversion to the gore, was that before or after working on Texas Chainsaw? Like, did that experience do that to you?
We shot at a lot of we would shoot at like butcher houses, and like just the smell of it, just like I can't get it out of my head, even though it was like 10 years ago. So, but I think the aversion preceded it. But I mean, acting in those films is awesome because it's very liberating. Because they're like, we're gonna put dirt on your face today, and you just show up, and it's just you're like, oh, I don't have to like look good, and it's I just get to scream all day. It's
That's
awesome.
when you show up with full allergy face. And you
Full allergy.
You just
face.
let it go.
100%.
Give the Zyrtec a break that one day.
Yes, totally. Full permission.
Just let it go. Have you ever worked on a project before with Andrew before? Have you guys done anything together?
No, that was the only thing we've done together. But I pressure him every day to cast me in something else. You can bring that up on Monday, too.
You guys have fun dinners, huh? That'll be one of the questions on Monday. Is like,
100%.
So, have you casted Jordana in something yet?
Totally.
And why not? We'll just grill them. Yeah,
Exactly.
turn the lights up,
Just
make them sweat.
Just devote 5 minutes to that.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. It's funny. I wanted to ask you, and you already answered it earlier, of when you sort of developed your allergies. Because I remember I developed mine honestly early, like high schoolish, is when I started having them. And around that time, you were doing like your first big thing, like you were on some soap operas. And soap operas notoriously are like the boot camp for actors, where like you're running lines constantly, all these sort of things. And I'm wondering what your experience was like with that, and if you have a similar sort of memory of that time, of it being like the boot camp, like it prepared you for this path to come?
I was on As the World Turns, which was on 57th between, I think, 10th and 11th back then, like CBS, and I was going to school at PCS, which was like 3 blocks away. So I would go to rehearsal and then like go take like morning meeting or something, and then like go back, shoot a scene, and then go to English. And then like it was just, I just loved juggling both, and I loved, it is boot camp, and you do have to make, you know, crazy material realistic, and so that was really, really fun. It's a shame that there's like one left.
Well, it's a different world now.
It is.
The soap opera has kind of evolved into a new art form where, like, a lot of these CW shows, they're very melodramatic, but like with a higher budget, and like there's a really interesting sort of soapy vibe to a lot of these nighttime shows. But yeah, the daytime soap, it's just weird. It's different. Do you remember? So coming out of that boot camp, that's a very unique experience to having that, like going to your first project outside of that. Was it kind of like a culture shock of like, oh, not every set?
Well, my first project outside of that was concurrent with the soap. I got the faculty, and then I had to beg them to let me do it because they were like, "No, you're under contract. Like you're not allowed to do the faculty." And I was like, I will literally do anything. Like, I have to be in this film. Like,
but a young Jon Stewart is going to be in it. And they were like, we don't know why that matters yet.
It was
and then
also like Killing Mrs. Tingle. Like, at the time, these were all the rage. So they were the movies. So I would fly to Texas, like, shoot my scenes, come back, shoot, like, 2 days' worth of scenes for As the World Turns, and luckily it worked out. But I just remember, like, movies being the gold standard, you know? And it was just, I mean, now it's so different because there's just so much more. It doesn't matter anymore what medium you're in.
It's all together now. And you were on both ends of the spectrum at that time. Like, a soap was like the ultimate TV thing.
Yeah.
Now here you're on this Robert Rodriguez, like, slasher
so
film.
fun.
So you were getting everything all at once.
Yeah, I was.
Thank God you didn't have allergies yet.
I know. Thank goodness, right? No.
You were doing all that and juggling school and everything and all that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's pretty nuts.
It was awesome.
I want to jump not too far ahead, but there's so much that you're working on that I want to cover everything here. You're coming back to the Fast and Furious family, 9 and 10.
Yes.
That's very exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting. I wish I had more news about it though, because I have.
That's all you know.
That's all I know, and I know I think they said the release date's sometime in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to stop making these. They're too good.
I hope not. I hope not. I see on Twitter, like, people will put, like, there's a baby recently that looks so much like Vin, and they're like, there's going to be a 50th Fast and Furious, which God bless.
Well, this is really fun. When you get to be a part of a franchise that's this big, that's such a global phenomenon, you get to do these other weird things that you wouldn't normally do. Even when something's successful, it's not the same as being a global phenomenon. And you got to be a part of the ride that is going to be opening in Florida.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
I think it's Supercharged, right? I wrote it down, Fast and Furious. Supercharged,
the part that will be awesome about that is I have 2 boys. So, like, to take them to a theme park and then be like, that's Mom. Like, that's cred, you know? That'll be really cool.
That's got to be the moment, right? Because having grown up around this world, all the stuff they've seen you do, if they've seen you do stuff on screen and movie, and you know your dad's a producer, it's just normal. But that's different.
That's different. Yeah. But I will say, Julian still, like, it was so cute. We were riding in the car because they're also in the city with me, and we saw a Quiet Place poster, and Julian said to the driver, he goes, "Sir, he's 4, about that movie. My dad made it." Like, it was so cute. It was. I was just like, and I was lucky enough that I was videoing it, and like I sent it to Andrew. It was like the sweetest thing.
That is the most adorable thing ever.
Yeah.
Good manners too, sir.
I know.
Sir.
Good manners like 80% of the time. Thank God. Yeah.
It counts.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah,
totally.
for sure.
Totally.
So that's pretty exciting. So you're going to be in the ride. What was the experience? Have you filmed the portions for that yet?
Yeah.
Is that done?
Yeah, a long time ago.
A while ago.
This stuff takes like longer than movies. It's crazy.
Was it harder for that? Because I think I saw behind the scenes stuff when they did the first version of the ride in LA, and it's just like it was like Vin on like a milk crate covered in green fabric on green screen. Like there was nothing there. Like it was a lot of green screen at the time that they had done the first one. I'm wondering if your experience was similar. Was there a lot of green screen? Were you trying to like not ad-lib, but sort of react to things that weren't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of green screen. The fun was doing the voiceover later, where I was like, "Please keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times." Like, I'm that girl as well. I get to be that voice, which oddly I found kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm a big. I love theme parks. I think they're a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
like, to be that voice, that's a very
That's kinda
important
fun for
part of the theme
yeah.
park experience.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, I get to do this? Really? Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys are you a big theme park family? You bring the kids routinely, or I think they're still young though, right? He's 4 and
They're young,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've been to Disney once. We're due for another trip real soon.
for sure. Well, yeah, especially after that 4 part because they start to get a little older, they can retain the memory of it.
Yes.
And it's like it's not about you anymore.
Totally.
It's about them.
Legoland we've done once.
Oh, that's
so,
fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
For
Yeah.
sure. You've done all of these. You've worked with so many incredible people. You've done so many big projects. Lethal Weapon, which I want to talk about as well. But I'm curious, are you at a point where you've done so many big things that you're less intimidated? You're not intimidated walking onto a set. It's like, well, I've been in the biggest movie in the world. This is going to be a cakewalk. Or is it all still fresh when you walk into a new project?
It's still fresh. Like and what's so weird to me is that as you get older, so many people say like, oh, you stop caring as much, but to me, I feel like I get more sensitive. So like, for example, the Ryan Murphy project, the day I had to give my testimony as Denise Brown, like John Travolta was right there, Sarah Paulson was right there. I was dying inside because often when people are off camera, like they won't be there physically. But so I had a lot of stage fright then. I don't take anything for granted, and I'm often like, oh gosh, like will I be able to do that? I mean, it's just I think that's part of what's fun about this business. You know what I mean? Is that it's constantly changing and the stakes are higher, and then there's downtime, and then everything's boring for a while, but then it gets exciting again. Like that's part of what I love about it so much.
Kind of a ride. There's an ebb and
It
flow
really
to it.
is, yeah.
Well, to that end, how's Lethal Web been going? This is good. Last time you were here, it was kind of just getting off the ground. You guys have got a bunch of episodes under your belt now, wrapping up season 2.
We're about to finish. My last week will be next week. And then we find out about season 3, which is cool. Yeah.
Has it gotten to that point where everybody, like, you're kind of hitting your stride? Everybody's finding their character, finding their voice?
Strangely, I feel like we hit our stride season 1. Like and that's part of just the chemistry of everyone. Like everyone gets along really well. I love our crew. Clayton's so talented that I don't have to do much. Like I just sit there and react off of him. He's also so dynamic as an actor, which is great. He directed an episode recently, which I wasn't in, which I was very bummed about. Yeah, it is a bummer, but it's a fun show to be on, and it's a different kind of character for me, which I also really like.
And I guess that must have been part of what sort of drew you to in the beginning, right? Was an opportunity to play someone a little different.
It did. I mean, the other thing that drew me to the role was the fact that it's in Los Angeles, which these days is getting more and more rare. And I want to be able to do the school run. I want to be present for my boys, especially since they're so young. So that was another part of it. But a perk has definitely been that she's not like an ingenue. Like she's not weak in any way. She's not supporting in any way. She's definitely straight shooter, tells it like it is, and that's been great.
That's pretty awesome. We're gonna turn it over to the audience in just a second. We're gonna take some questions from them, but I do have one, and I hope you'll indulge me for a moment here. Every opportunity I get to ask this question, I do. You've worked with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is my white whale. We've had tons of incredible people on here, but we haven't had Dwayne yet. And I'm wondering, one, what's it like to be around him? Is he that nice all the time? Just give me some Dwayne stories before we turn it over.
Very, very nice. He's like legit, like a cool, kind dude. And like you, that's also part of what was so cool about being a part of, or what is so cool about being on Fast, is that you get to work with like really cool people. So when Dwayne come on, I was like, oh, that's awesome, And I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't in the last one, but like Helen Mirren, like, are you kidding? Like, that's amazing. So yes, and I'm sure he'll be here soon.
Oh, no, yeah, it's not like he's turned us down. It's just he's been a very busy man. He's got a lot going on.
He does.
Dwayne, I get it. I know he watches. Dwayne, it's totally fine. We're not judging you. It's just we're ready when you are, is all I'm saying, simply. All right, thank you for that. Let's go ahead and open it up to the audience. We got some questions in the room. First one's going to come from all the way back here.
Hi. Speaking of Fast and Furious, space, are you guys going there? Because it kind of, everyone's, I think Tyrese Gibson made a joke about that at one point, and I think that'd be really cool.
Did he? That would be really cool. I feel like that would require adjustments in the budget, but I feel like Elon Musk is getting us there slowly but surely. I mean, that would be cool. Not in the next 2 maybe, but in the future for sure.
Elon Musk is he's already sent his stuff into. He's ready. He knows he's going at some point.
Crazy.
What let's go down that rabbit hole for a second. Not the Elon Musk one, but let's like the space one for a second. What was the training like? You haven't even been to space yet, but you've gotten to drive a couple of the cars in the films. You've been a very active role there. What was that training like for you? Was that exciting to be able to do that and like kind of learn this skill set or grow it? Maybe you were already an avid.
No, but I grew up in New York, so I didn't have my license. I got my license for the movie, and then like what happens to me invariably with any job is that they'll always have like a stick shift for me, and I always get to sit and I'm like, I don't drive stick shift. Like, what are you doing? And they're like, no, just it's really simple, and I'm like, no, like I've tried. Trust me, you don't want me driving stick. So no, it's such a crazy, like the car culture is amazing. Yeah. I'm more in the car culture in terms of like a superficial level. I'm like, is it pretty? Like, let me design the car more than drive it. Sure.
So then, if let's say we do go to space,
yes,
are you down to engage in the necessary space training? They're going to have to put you in some kind of centrifuge, I believe. There's that notorious plane, they call it the Vomit Comet, where they just, have you heard of this? Have
no.
you seen this? Oh my God! All right, you've seen Apollo 13 before years ago. Now they float in space.
Yeah.
Right? Well, they did that. They go in a plane and they like go straight up. And they come straight down, and they fly in this wave, and they do this like 5 or 6 times. And when you're in this straight up and straight down part,
I'm getting nauseous, like just
yeah.
With your description.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Like, yeah,
you're weightless,
I can't even.
And you float around.
Whoa.
So if they go to space,
right.
I'm not promising you. I have nothing to do with this project.
Yes.
But there's a good chance they're going to have to make you weightless, put you in the Vomit Comet.
Amazing.
Would you do something like that?
I would.
Yeah, you'd sign up.
Yeah,
All right. Well, this is legally binding. This is.
It is on tape.
Here we are.
Yes.
Well, that's just it. Internet, we've confirmed it. They're going to space, and Jordana will be flying the shuttle.
I will be in the Vomit Comet.
We've got a time for a few more questions. The next one is right here.
Hello.
Hi.
You've been in so many different projects. I wanted to know, as an actress, what do you want to be known and remembered for?
I would love, I think I'm living in it's such a cool moment now for women, and we're so much more empowered, and the roles out there are so much more rich. So I would love to write something, which I'm working on the side, and I find it exercises a completely different muscle, which is very exciting. And I'd also love to be more involved in projects like People vs. OJ, where I'm playing characters that are real, where I have to do research, where it just exercises the part of my brain that, it's because I'm a nerd. I love doing research. I love studying. And so I'd love to merge the two a little bit more. That would be really fun for me.
When you were doing your research for People vs. OJ and you were playing a real person, was there an extra added element of stress or responsibility about living up to this person and their legacy and their character?
Responsibility for sure. And I would just watch tapes of Denise. There were a couple of, unfortunately it predated like when everything's on the web, like Instagram, but there were a couple of YouTube interviews, and she was so, especially the testimony was so specific. So yes, there was pressure and responsibility, and also and trying to understand like tonally where is it going, because we would get the pages, we didn't have the entire script, so I hoped that it would like fit into it as a whole.
Actually, you didn't get the whole script because they were
very hush-hush about it. There were so many characters,
I know, but we all know how it ends.
That is true. Good point. Good point.
That's why interesting decision.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We've got time for one more question. It looks like it's also from back here.
Hi, thanks for being here. So after being part of such a huge franchise like Fast and Furious, are there any other kind of fandoms or franchises you'd like to be a part of?
The Marvel universe is so much fun. So I'd love to be a superhero of some sort. That would be super fun. But as a villain. I'd also like to play, I want to go a little more dark. And in D.E.B.S, I was the villain, and that was really fun. In The Faculty, I was mean girl, and that was kind of fun. So I feel like I've been very sweet for the last 20 or so years, and I'd like to tap into the dark side.
Well, I don't know about the science that backs this up, but when people do leave Earth's atmosphere and enter space, something can happen.
Ooh, something will shift.
And at that point, I'm just going to keep going with this. At that point, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that you become a part of the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
They're very galactic.
Yeah, we could just merge them all.
I'm saying, we just put them all together.
Totally.
You could make this
Mash
happen.
up.
Let's do it. That was fantastic. I think that's it. We're out of time. Yeah. Okay. So regrettably,
Fun.
because I ran out the clock here, I've run out of time. I apologize. But first of all, I want to thank everybody for your questions. That was wonderful. Thank you for that. I'm going to thank our friends over at Macy's for these fantastic flowers. I got to thank Zyrtec for my non-runny nose and for helping me out today and making it possible for us to hang out with you. Of course, a huge thank you. Everybody, make some noise, please, for Jordana Brewster for being with us. Wonderful. Thank you.